And good morning. Welcome to Tea and Conversation Live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tea and Conversation Live. And I have with me this morning Naya Young. She's a candidate that's running for Tampa City Council District 5. Good morning, Naya. How's it going?
Good morning. It's going good. I am happy to be here this morning, and we're on this campaign trail, this campaign run. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling good.
Good, 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 good. I see that the campaign trail has been really busy.
It has. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, it has been. But
Mm-hmm.
I have been learning so much,
Mm-hmm.
and I have these moments where sometimes like these light bulbs go off, something that I heard or I knew about from, some time ago. I start to, talk with someone and I'm able to put pieces together and puzzle things
Mm-hmm.
together. So it's been awesome. It's been a really, such a learning experience, but I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have been following you at all of the debates, and I watch how you sit attentively and take notes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've had to go back into my grad school brain, and
Mm-hmm.
I use all the different types of learning. I'm kinesthetic, I'm auditory, I'm visual. So I
Mm-hmm.
hear something and then I write it down, and then I have to actually go and see it. So I can now I'm able to really grasp the concept and really understand it. So
Mm-hmm.
I've had a really a good time learning as
Mm-hmm.
well. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's real important, definitely to me, when I hear um, younger people wanting to learn and listen. And I want to say, I mentioned this to you when I saw you running. I got a little excited because I remember when I would go into the radio station with Soul Man 88.5
mhm.
on Friday nights. You were
Yep,
one of the interns with him, and
yep.
I got a chance to know you a little better years ago. And I'm just so excited to see the growth uh, that um, you have become an amazing young woman. I love looking out in the audience, seeing your husband supporting you as well. And you come from an amazing family in our community. I know that you were born and raised in East Tampa, aren't you?
Well, actually, I've been here. I've been in Tampa 22 years now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, originally born up north, but we've been
Mm-hmm.
here. I've pretty much been raised here all my life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I
let's
remember those
let's
radio station days.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember Soul Man would ask you a question and you were right on it real quick. You were right on it. So yeah, I wanted to definitely say that that I remember those days, and I'm
Oh
just so
yeah,
proud of you.
thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. If you're just joining me, I am on with Naya Young, candidate
Mhm.
for City Council District 5. And Naya, what are the top three issues that are facing District 5 that you would love to address when you
Mhm.
become, and if you become, City Councilwoman?
So I would say one, um, smart growth in general. So for me, smart growth, or how many would define smart growth, was housing and transit. Tampa is growing a lot, and it's not a bad thing. Growth is good, but how you grow, how you go about doing that is important. What type, not just housing, but what types of housing, and that you have different, different types of housing to fit different size families, to fit different people. Some people may want a home, some people may want an apartment. What
Mm-hmm.
kind of apartments? Not just one, two bedroom, one bath. We need some that have three bedrooms and two baths, because we have larger families that maybe don't want a house, but maybe an apartment or a townhome. But we need to
Mm-hmm.
be able to have that type of housing in the city, not just out in the counties, and affordable so that families can stay in this city that which they've grown up in and that they love. Transit, how are we getting people from one place to the next? I used to live in DC and I had a car at the time. I ended up having a car accident and I didn't have my car anymore, but I didn't need it because you could take the bus, you could take the train, there where you could ride your bike, you could ride a scooter, and all of these options were available to you and they were reliable. If you missed one bus, that's okay. We can hop on the next one in the next 5 to 10 minutes. If you needed to go out into the county, you could drive your car to the train station and park it and then get on the train and go to wherever you have to go. So different modalities of transportation that's safe, that's reliable, that's, that's able, either if you're elderly, if you're disabled, if you have children, just other means of transportation for everyone. And then I would also say just like a shared growth and investment throughout District 5. What I've been hearing from a lot of just community when I'm speaking with them, it's it's things are happening over here, and it seems like it stops right here at the red light. So having that shared growth across the district and community investment, because that's how when you invest in the communities, that's how you build strong neighborhoods and you build strong communities, because they're seeing that their tax dollars are being invested in their communities.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. You mentioned something when you first started about housing, having family housing. And I know that there's some apartments that they are building, townhouses that they are building, that is not for me. It does not mean family if it's one bedroom. It does not mean family to me if it has 2 bedrooms. It does not mean family to me. I'm born and raised in East Tampa as well. And what is your plan to support affordable housing in the district? And also, if we're doing housing, why not more housing for families?
So I think we have to tackle housing a couple of ways. One, we have to be sure that those who have homes, are able to stay in their homes. Whether you are, again, disabled or elderly, or maybe you inherited a home and don't necessarily know how to take care of one. So I think that's number one, making sure that people are able to stay in their homes. There are some programs, I think it's the homeowner occupied program, to help if you need to fix your roof, or if you need to fix windows. There's also a program that helps seniors to replace AC so that their bills are not as high. So one, I definitely think we need to tackle making sure people are able to stay in their homes, whether if it's landscaping, that's one way we tackle it. I think also, again, like I was saying earlier, having different types of housing. No one is saying we don't want any 2-bed, 1-baths. It's that shouldn't be the only option. We have to be sure that there's options. I think that's where we're kind of missing the mark, is having different types, and not just townhomes. There's townhomes, there's apartments. We now have some ordinances that are passed so that people can have ADUs. Maybe we need to explore other options. There's tiny home communities. There's these different mixed use developments and communities. Like, what does that look like? Instead of just going with this what we know, let's look at the other options. What are other states and cities doing so that they can fix their housing crisis, or at least try to address the housing crisis? I think that is also an option. It's just having different types of housing. When you only put one type, you've already said, oh, well, this is not for you, without indirectly saying it. If you just put one type, we don't want, this is not for families. So we need to have different types of options to have families. And I think that's by time, someone is elected to this seat, the comp plan is going to be coming out, and that also is going to address housing and ordinances, what can be built in certain neighborhoods and areas. And so when we're looking at that comp plan, making sure that there are different options for housing in the different areas, and then how whoever whether it be through a CRA funds, or through city, if it's through a community benefits agreement, that we're putting in those agreements the types of housing that we need in that area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that. Also, you mentioned the CRA. I do know that there was a number of projects that was going on a few years back, where they had the tree trimming. They had people coming out doing small projects to people's homes, and some of the businesses doing the front part of the businesses. How would you assure that, because we know that that money is going to run out? We have a date where that money is going to run out. That we assure that the homes in our community are able to use some of that CRA money for what it was planned for. It was planned for Blythe in our community. We talk about it was started in what is that, 1980?
I think so.
Yeah, I've heard that throughout the campaign. 1980. We're at 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that look like to you going forward, and assuring that that money is spent for what it was intended for?
Mm-hmm. And that's a great question. And one, CRAs are important because one of my sentiments is that city can't do everything, county can't do everything. We have to collaborate, and we need all of these entities together so that we can really move forward. And the CRA is a way forward, is a way to do that. I think that there has to be a level of not just accountability, but also progress monitoring. When I was at the NAACP forum, I said, a plan without progress monitoring is just a piece of paper. We need to make sure that we are monitoring these projects. It's how are we moving forward? What are the deadlines? How are we getting the information out? Because that's one of the issues, is just information. And it's so funny because we have so many different types of ways to spread information, but there's still people that miss it sometimes, and that is not their fault. My job is to make sure that information gets out. And if someone doesn't understand it, where's the liaison between the city or the CRA and the community to make sure that people are getting that information? You have some people when the forms, it could be as simple as just filling out the forms. Who was there to make sure that the forms are being filled out correctly, or that somebody needs help, whether it be a business or a homeowner? How are we getting the information out? Who is monitoring these funds? Eyes need to be on these projects and on our funds. Where is the money going? How is it being spent? What is the deadline? And is this project doing exactly what it said it's going to do? Accountability and progress monitoring. I think that's the way forward, because again, the CRA is important. It was created for a purpose, and we should absolutely use it for that purpose. Part of how I learn, like I was saying earlier, is I have to see things. For me, walking or just driving in my car and putting my eyes on things. So I go to the CRA website, and it's it has the projects listed there. So I'm driving to I want to see, where is the project? Where is it at now? What does it look like? So I can put my eyes on it and say, okay, where was this supposed? Is this where this is supposed to be at this point in time? So that's how I would address that.
Thank you so much for that answer. If you're just joining us, I'm on with Naya Young, candidate for Tampa City Council District 5 on Tea and Conversation Live. How would you support small businesses? And I want to say Black-owned businesses. I had minority in my in my question, but I have been advocating supporting Black-owned businesses in our community for over 20 years. How would you support Black-owned businesses in our community and making sure that they are getting the resources that is available to them?
Mhm. I honestly, I love that you said Black-owned businesses, Candy, because again, the shared growth. We want to be sure that growth is being shared across District 5. District 5 is big, it's huge, and
Mhm.
also our businesses and our local businesses, I think, are so unique. When you go, I actually love when I go to a place and I don't see a whole bunch of chain restaurants, because you really get to
Mhm.
see, what that community and what that city has to offer. Everybody knows, when you go to New Orleans, you go to this spot because this is the local place that you can only get it in New Orleans, or you can only get it in Tampa. And
Mhm.
so I think really, and especially as Tampa is becoming a place that it's like on the map and people are wanting to come here, why
Mhm.
not give them that feel of Tampa? Tampa is, this diverse, beautiful city that has so many different types of people. Why not elevate those businesses and elevate
Mhm.
those people. Again, I think it's, again, getting information out that is available to businesses, but also it goes back to our agreements, with companies or businesses or developers.
Mhm.
How are you engaging the local community in which you are building? How are you
Mhm.
utilizing their local businesses, whether it be landscaping, whether it be artists, whether it
Mhm.
be, if you are, want to have a coffee shop, if it's a mixed use building and there's
Mhm.
going to be something at the bottom, is there a local business in the area that we could put at the bottom so that they could have storefront space, and then you have your housing at the top? How are we engaging our businesses so that they
Mhm.
have the opportunities to grow? And then also, just again, getting the information out. If we're pushing money in our
Mhm.
budget into programs for economic development, how are we making sure that everybody is benefiting from that? Again, I think and it's gonna take a lot of work, on my end as, city
Mhm.
council, and on our staff's end, but that's how we make sure that the growth is shared and that it's equitable and that everybody has an opportunity to grow with Tampa. We want everybody to grow with Tampa, not Tampa grow and then everybody else has to come to see it. We want to grow together.
Mhm. Thank you so much for that answer. And how do you plan to stay connected with the constituents if you win this seat?
Well, I just learned about a great program this morning as I was getting on a live stream. But I think, one, I meant when I was at NAACP, a youth, I want to be able to, because I still consider myself youth. A youth for me is like not just elementary, middle, and high school. It's like, that 18 to 35 age, because even still you're still
Mhm.
figuring, things out, and you're
Yeah.
still young. So I would
Mhm.
love to have, even if it's two, youth groups, that I'm meeting with on a monthly basis, like a 18 to
Mhm.
25, a 25 to 35, to see how are things going for you just in
Mhm.
general in the city. How, how's the job market? How are you, how are you finding your way around? Are the activities that are happening, do they feel like they are supportive of you? Also, in addition to just meeting with, our youth, just having regular town halls with people.
Mhm.
But again, that could be, monthly, or at the beginning of the month or the end of the month.
Mhm.
Staying connected with the neighborhood associations and the presidents of those associations. To, if there's something that's coming up, again, it's going to take a collaborative effort. And I think knowing your constituents, knowing your community, and
Mhm.
having that relationship with everyone so that they know at the end of the
Mhm.
day, I am here to be an advocate for you. Tell me what you need. I'm going to take that information. I'm going to take the information that I know of what I can do that's within my capabilities, so that I can make sure that you're getting what you need.
Mhm. Thank you so much
Mhm.
for that answer. I'm on with Naya Young, candidate for Tampa City Council District 5. And Nyla, that leads me right into this question on how do you plan on involving those residents on major decisions that will impact them in these neighborhoods?
Mm-hmm. So I did a little bit community engagement consulting, and one thing that I found is a lot of times you have residents or community that really just want to be involved in the process. No, it's the pushback comes when you are just doing things and not including community. Even if they don't necessarily understand what's happening, we'll have some time to sit and talk to them, to have them so that they can understand what's going on. Ask the questions. Go to that community, ask the questions. This is what is happening. Do you think this could benefit you? Why or why not? Yes or no? How can we go? If it's a no, let's go back to the drawing board and figure out how can we better serve that community. So it's really just going to those communities and talking to people. If it's a survey, making sure that the surveys are going out and getting those answers, and really reading through them. And again, if it comes back and we need to go back to the drawing board to figure something else out, then we'll do that. Making sure that our, communities feel heard, making sure the communities feel heard. I've so many times just talking with residents, I feel that sometimes feel like they're just, talking into the abyss. Is anybody really listening to me? So making sure that our communities are feeling heard, and that we're going to them, and that they're always engaged and involved in that process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much for that answer. Naya Young is on with me, candidate for Tampa City Council District 5. This one right here is real dear to my heart as well. I have had a number of youth entrepreneur events throughout the years. How would you invest in programs for our youth, especially in our community, in the underserved community, in the East Tampa community, and making sure that if there are these job programs, that the children, the young people, the high schoolers, they are getting the information and they are getting these jobs?
Youth is definitely near and dear to me too. I, working in nonprofit, it is such a pleasure, and it warms my heart to see what comes out of when you engage, and when you involve, and when you invest in youth. The amount of just possibility that you see in these young kids when they know that someone is actually investing in them is something that really it is such a passion for me. I think about myself. I was a youth that somebody that people poured into, and I am now giving back to my community in the only way that I know how, and the way that I've been taught. That's what we have to do. The decisions that we're making now, our youth are going to bear the burden of that, whether positive or negative. There again, opportunities are out there. We have to just get the information out, but we can't do it alone. So I think, again, that takes knowing your constituents, knowing your nonprofits. I'm even inclined now to add, maybe there is, in addition, I have to figure out how many town halls I can do, but maybe I'm just meeting, I have a Zoom with my nonprofit leaders that, service children to say, hey, this is what's coming up. These are the opportunities that are coming up. Or what opportunities do what are the kids saying to you all that they want to see more of? And then going back to my drawing board and say, okay, who can we engage, whether it be on the city level or, with the community level, who can we engage so that we can get our students, the jobs? I talked earlier about, making sure people can keep their homes. One of the main issues is just lawn care. We need summer jobs. Our young men, or Or even if our
Mhm.
young ladies, can we get some lawnmowers and get the kids on the program where they're going around and checking on our seniors and checking their
Mhm.
lawns? Something as simple as that, but making sure that they're engaged and that they have jobs. And there's also so many I've seen so many kids that have businesses. We during the summer we have entrepreneurship with the kids, and they come up with their own business ideas. We
Mhm.
need to get some money behind these ideas. This is economic development. This is how we're flowing the money through our communities,
Mhm.
giving our children and our small
Mhm.
business owners the opportunity so that they can own their businesses, so that they can give back. The kids want to be involved. They want to be
Mhm.
involved. They want the opportunities. Give it to them, but don't just automatically say, oh, you don't, something that I've been hearing that has been, I think, plaguing everyone's language is this word experience.
Mhm.
Not giving them the opportunity because they don't have the experience. Imagine you go through elementary school, you go through middle school, you go through high school, you go through college, to come out into the real world. You're ready to serve. You're ready. I've learned all this knowledge. I've learned the importance of doing this. I've learned the importance of giving back, only to be told that you have to wait. It's not your turn yet.
Mm.
When is the turn? When you're good and ready, when you're tired? When do we give our youth the opportunity? And I even, speak for
Mm.
myself. When is it my turn? If it's not now, if I don't have the experience now, when do I get the turn? I'm a product of community that has poured into to me. I'm a product
Mhm.
of opportunities, of
Mhm.
community, and now I'm ready to serve. But it's no, not yet. You're not ready yet. You don't have that experience yet. That's
Mhm.
unfair. We have youth that want to be involved, that need to be involved. We have to engage
Mhm.
them, and they will continue to give back and continue to pour into our communities.
Mhm. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for your passion. I do believe that when you say that, when is the time? I know that years ago, and I'm not in the workforce now, but in the workforce, they would say, you couldn't get hired because you didn't have experience, and you're right out of college. So where do you get that experience at? Where does it start? So thank you so much for saying that. I do believe that that is somewhat of a misnomer. Whenever you think that you are ready and experienced and ready, whatever that means, in my mind, that's when a person is
Mhm.
ready. So thank you so much for that,
Yeah.
Naya. I
Mhm.
am Candy Lowe, Tea and Conversation live this morning with Naya Young, candidate for Tampa City Council District 5. Naya, I want you to think about this, and I know you have. Um, why are you the right person at this time to be our city council leader for District 5?
Because I'm ready. I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready. And I want to see something different. Our community wants to see something different. I bring fresh, perspective, different ideas. I see the world in a different way. That's not a bad thing, but I'm able to I see things differently. I want to see everybody grow in Tampa. When I first started in nonprofit 7 years ago at my family's nonprofit, and I had a group of students that I worked with, about 30 students, and now none of those kids live in Tampa Heights anymore. Um, and for me, that was it's like, well, why not? Why not? We have all of this amazing growth that's happening in our city, but there's so many people who either leave and don't come back because they either the opportunity isn't there or they can't afford it, or you have families that have lived here for generations and or in years, and they're now at this point unable to stay in this beautiful city. And I want to change that. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I don't want to have all the answers, because then that means I'm not engaging with people. And that's what my job is, to make sure I'm engaging with people. But I want to find the best answers that I can. I want to be an advocate. I want to continue to give back to my community like I've done, like I want to continue to do, like it's been instilled in me all of my life. This is an important time for all of us. And I just feel like I'm ready. And, I don't talk a lot about myself and things that I've done, or just things that I've been through in life. And so I just feel like the time is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Naya. Let me ask you, because you said a word that I think you can bring some clarity to it.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're younger, much younger than I am, is a difference, a difference in the community, bringing something different to the community. And I know, you said that you're visual. I'm a visual person as well, so I understand visual. When you say a difference, bring something different, what does that mean to you for our community?
It means not, I don't want to say not reinvent the wheel, but if we look over the past 5, 10, 15 years, if what was happening was working, we wouldn't be having the same conversations. If what was working, we wouldn't be having the same conversations. And so for me, different is looking at housing different, looking at transit different. We look at, East Tampa and Sulphur Springs. We're having the same conversations about these spaces. And that is not to say that those before did not try, because I'll commend anyone that tries. District 5 is big. It's one of the largest, but that's what makes it so unique. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful. But if what we were doing was working, then things would be different right now. And that's what I want to get across is, let's try something else, because maybe we didn't do something right at that time, or maybe we just didn't do it maybe we need to change the template a little bit. Maybe there's, here's the template. There's some bullet points we can pull from it, right? Maybe there's some things that worked, but maybe there's some things that's like, as what I see is, let's try it this way. Let's try to bridge the gap this way. Let's try to have the conversation this way. Let's try to engage the community this way. Let's try to engage the developers this way. So that when I say different, it is not a dig or to say that, oh, you did a terrible job. It's to say we are having the same conversations that we were having 5, 10 plus years ago about these areas, about our same areas, about some of the same issues. So let's try something different and see if we can get a different outcome that involves everybody, that meets as many needs as possible. That's what I mean when I say different.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I am on live, Tea and Conversation live with Naya Young. candidate for Tampa City Council District 5. Naya, if you have any, excuse me, any last comments that you would like to add to this interview this morning?
Uh, you know, I have this has been such an awesome journey for me and an awesome process. Um, I know nothing but community and advocacy and giving back, and that's from both sides of my family. We call ourselves, a service family. When someone is in need, we act. And I think that's part of the reason why, I don't necessarily talk about a lot of things that I've done, because I'm a person, I just do. I just do. There's something there, there's something that needs to be done. So I just do. And that's all I know. All I know is community. All I know is advocacy. All I know is engaging and uplifting, and I'm ready to do that, um, even more and help even more people. I've done a lot in my nonprofit work, and I've helped and serviced a lot of families in my nonprofit work. But at the end of the day, when those kids go home, they were still going home to the same environments, and I could only do but so much within my what was within my nonprofit realm. And so now I want to see what else I can do on an even bigger scale and can help even more people. Um, you know, take a chance on me. That's what I would say. Give me an opportunity. I have all the experience in my eyes. I've worked in nonprofit. I've worked in community. My experience is, having to create a safe space for a child that lost both of her parents in one day, and all she wanted to do was come to the center, you know because mental health and domestic violence are in our communities. My experience is, having to cook for 30 kids, for 3 weeks out of the summer, because we had, programs, the money for food programs was cut. And so the kids have to eat breakfast and lunch and snack. So we've got to go and cook it. My experience is, walking through my communities and seeing, our kids that, just need, opportunities and want things to do. My experience is, after 10 plus years, still not being able to watch a video of my granddad when he had that encounter just less than a mile from his home. My experience is my little brother that was stopped on his bike in the park. So I've lived in this city, and I want to see it grow.
Yeah.
And I want to be there, and I want to be an advocate. So yeah.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much for that. You're joining us, Tea and Conversation Live, with Naya Young, candidate for Tampa City Council District 5. And you can check out her website as well, www.naya4tampa.com. And that's NAYA 4FOR, Tampa, TAMPA.com. You can get all the information right there if you want to contact her. I think you do have all your social media platforms are up as well. If someone
Yes.
is looking to get in contact with you, they can do that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Tea and Conversation is this Saturday as well. It's going to be at Al's Finger Licking Good Soul Food. That's 2203 East 7th Avenue, Naya. You're welcome to join us. All the candidates are. We've been at that for 20 years in the city, so you're welcome to come through there. It's from 10 a.m. to noon at Tea and Conversation. I was trying to see if we had any comments in the chat. A couple comments that was in the chat, but those people left out and they keep coming in. With quite a bit of people on the chat here. that are. Let
I
me
can't
see
even
right
see.
here.
Maybe I need to. I don't know
Yeah,
what they're
that's
saying.
okay. That's okay. We have all of our platforms up, so I'm happy
Mhm.
that everyone joined us this morning. That actually concludes Tea and Conversation Live on this morning with candidate Naya Young. She's a candidate that's running for Tampa City Council District 5. Naya, if you would like to give out the dates of early election and the date of the election for everyone to make sure that we get out and vote.
Yes, early voting is September 4th through the 7th, and election day is September 9th. So
Mhm.
early voting September 4th to the 7th. Election day is September 9th. If you requested your
Mhm.
mail-in ballot, make sure you're checking your mail. Make sure that your ballot comes in the mail. And everybody,
Mhm.
make sure you get out and vote, whoever you vote for, but just
Mhm.
go out and vote. It is a right that we do not want to be taken away, and you want to exercise your right to vote. Civic engagement is so important. So please
Mhm.
go out and vote, vote, vote.
Mhm. Thank you. And you heard it first right here on Tea and Conversation Live. I am your host, Candy Lowe, and I look forward to the next Tea and Conversation Live. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for tagging a couple of your friends, and I'll see you next time. And you all have a great day. Great day, Naya.